And society is happy to talk to them about race every single day by giving these little subtle clues as to who's on top and who's on bottom. And so by trying to protect their innocence, you're actually protecting the ignorance of the society. And kids understand one word that you can always use, no matter how little. They understand fair and unfair. Yeah. So you can always just say to the kid, it's not fair to treat somebody this way because of their skin color. It's not fair because they're heavy, because they speak different language. It's not fair. Kids understand fair and unfair. And so there's no excuse not to talk to your kid about the fact that some people treat people unfairly because of the color of their skin. You can start that at 3 or 4 years old and build that as you go. And then they get more information as they can take more information. But the idea that you're just not going to talk about it is a disservice to our kids, who then have to go to school with ignorant white kids who then can't be allies and who can't understand what's going on and then get tricked into patterns of behavior that are not fair.
Right. They're not humane. They're not what any spirit or soul is about for anyone. Yeah. Thank you, man. I really appreciate your insights and your feeling, and hopefully people will be penetrated by what you've shared. Now we speak to a legend, Reverend Jesse Jackson, civil rights activist, Baptist minister, politician. Jesse, you've been called the conscience of a nation. You've been called the great unifier. For 60 years, you've worked in this category, and you've been on the forefront of just about every piece: civil rights, equality, economic social justice, sexual social justice. You're there in the front lines always, and you were Martin Luther King's aide. So you have a perspective that dwarfs all of us. I'm curious, what advice would you have about how to talk to each other, and how do we end this day moving forward instead of backward? You always talk about we can't move backward with fear and division. So how do we unify at a time like this?
You know, I went to jail with 7 classmates July 16, 1960, trying to get to the public library. So it'll be 60 years this coming July 16th, went to jail trying to get to the public library.
Wow.
My first experience with this race thing was one of the stands out of my mind. I was going down to help my mother. I go on the back of the bus. I got on the bus. I sat behind the driver because my grandfather had a wood yard and I was sitting in front of the truck. 3 white kids sitting in front of me, they were playing at this innocent farm. And I was quiet, looking at the window. The driver said, all on this bus. People told me because I was quiet, the other kids were playing. He said loud, my mother, she came in rushing, got me, she pinched me. Mama, you pinched me, I cried. She pinched me. And she said, you'll understand. One of my father's friends, Mr. Yates, said, sign about the driver's head, red color from the rear, black and whites from the front. But don't worry about it because the back of the bus will go, the front will get. The bus have a wreck, the back won't get hurt. He teaches me, he insulated me from racial laws. I look for the God factor in this thing. When George Floyd breathed his last breath, God breathed into the whole human race. A dying man, not a congressman, not a rich man, a dying man on the corner in Minnesota, breathed life to the whole world with his last breath. That's a God factor, it seemed to me. A child 16 years old on a camera captured it. The whole world is run to this camera, not a big camera shot. Barbara in Hollywood, the child, she filmed it, took it public. The other thing, it seems to me, is that COVID-19, one germ, stopped the whole world. You couldn't shoot it with your gun, you couldn't bomb it. One germ, COVID-19. And it made people stop who thought they couldn't stop. It stopped the whole world. Let me go to another level. If there's a wall between us, Tony, there's a wall between us. On the other side of the wall is ignorance, fear, hatred, and violence. Now, when we play football together, it's interesting that we come out of these various backgrounds. What allows us to play football together? Alabama plays Clemson. Uniform color, not skin color. People, every political persuasion in the stands. And, 90,000 people. What allows us to survive that encounter? Because whenever the playing field is even, whenever the playing field is even, rules are public, goals are clear, reference are fair, and the score is transparent. Whenever the playing field is even, rules public, goals are reference fair, and score is transparent. Where you get along with football, it's an even playing field.
Yeah.
We saw a live lynching touch some deep in the whole human family. That may not have happened when Emmett Till was killed. It didn't. We heard about it, we didn't see the lynching. But we matured a lot in the last 50 years. We a lot more interaction than we realized. Learn to live together. I want to go a step further. Our society built on white supremacy. We say slaves is not the original sin. The original sin is genocide against Native Americans. We killed them and declared war on Native Americans, the original host. And when they, the Redskins, which is named after by a racist owner, Marshall of the Washington team, and the movers was part of this, Charlemagne, when they would bring a wagon load of dead Indians to the trading post, they get paid per dead Indian, man, woman, and child. They scapped them, had a wagon load of scaps, the red skin, lynching. We're born in sin, shaped in iniquity. White supremacy is America's real story. White supremacy, we believe in it as a nation. We believe in black inferiority. How can I put this? On that bus that day, Dr. King said, if I get on the bus, you always sit on the front. The law says I can sit there. You can like it, don't like it, you can walk, but you can't make me move. The law says I have to move, then you humiliate me. Now, whatever your attitude is about it, you're either gonna ride the bus or you're gonna walk. The law changed that behavior. Now, he said, Dr. King said, eventually, your attitude will change, but first behavior changes when the law changes. Now, I want to go a step further. Law and behavior versus attitudes. These conversations are very nice, but law determines that. We're doing some things